Hello and welcome everybody to the playoffs of the BOCE, the Battle of Central Europe Season 3. It's going to be the first game for the playoffs actually. VP.Polar versus Lajons for the first winner bracket round. Some teams of course already are waiting in the second round, those who finished as the first place in the group stages, but still it should be a pretty damn excellent series to be honest. VP, they might have a slight advantage. Also, I think they're playing in a LAN setting at the moment, being a Dream League and everything. But in any case, should be great. We're of course HeflaTV, your English coverage for this tournament. I am Coucher and I am joined by Mike Lawrence. What do you expect from this series?
Oh man, it's going to be pretty good. I expect Lions, or whatever team they are right now, as they are currently without their Lions tag, to be playing things very slow as they typically do. VP.Polar, I expect them to be highly prioritizing the Venge and the Puck. We've been seeing a ton of those two heroes throughout this tournament, and as soon as I say that, Lions ban out the Venge. So, I guess they know exactly what I know.
I mean, Venge definitely is a strong hero, but even if a team utilizes the Venge perfectly, is it still ban worthy, or is it just playing into VP's hand?
I mean, the more you know about the enemy team, the more you can make these, like, quote-unquote educated bans, like not just random strong heroes that are banned out. So I do think that this hero is powerful enough to be banned out, maybe, not in the first ban phase, but, maybe eventually down the line. But up against Virtus.Pro, who've just been running the Venge and Puck so often, it is worthwhile, I think. And, hey, you're going to let powerful heroes get through the pool, that means you get to take some too. So it's going to be Venge and Tidehunter to start things off, and, well, VP, they take out the Void. It's another hero that the Lion side has been working with quite a bit in their group stage games.
Well, second ban from Lions, Tidehunter, I guess that's more of just a general ban or a hero you don't want to go up against. Double Ravage is just so devastating. Even if you have a BKB, you may be able to dodge one, but almost certainly not two, because Tidehunters, usually they know when to wait for the BKB duration to end and then pop the second one. But VP themselves, what do they ban out now? Is it just something like a Death Prophet? I mean, Lions, they do have the first pick, and I do believe they are prone to run the Death Prophet as well, and well, it gets banned out now, so maybe something like a Razor, Ogre Magi, something like that to start with?
Yeah, all those seem pretty safe right now for the Lions side. Opening with that, opening with the Brewmaster. Razor probably is the safest way to open up, but yeah, who knows? They do typically like to aggressively protect their carry, but I really haven't seen Lions, I don't think like a single time, run a strategy where Ira's on something that's super aggressive and they try to end the game really early. So even if they do go for someone like an Ogre Magi, it's not going to be in a full aggressive lineup. Like even if they go for a Jakiro, it's not going to be with the intention of ending the game early.
They might go for a Jakiro and try to go for a Lycan somewhere along the line, because I think in the group stages they played a Lycan in a minimum of 3 games. So they do love that just kind of semi-pushing style at least, or only with the Lycan maybe, but they do go for the Brewmaster. It's a pick you never can go wrong with. Just such a strong ultimate, the Primal Split, especially in the early to mid stages. Even in the later stages, you can just throw up the carry in the air unless he's going for a BKB. But VP, they don't waste almost any time, just Centaur Ogre almost immediately picked up.
Now, these are aggressive heroes for VP. I mean, you don't really get much more aggressive than this. You got a stun into another stun, and pretty much whenever you have that combination with any hero, with any hero combination, you're going to be doing pretty well for yourself. But, I mean, Fire Blasting into the magic damage of a Double Edge and a Hoof Stomp, and then with potential for even more magic damage down the line, VPP have run Lina in the past. If that's what they want to do, that'll be great. Or if they just want to go for a Skywrath Mage, then they're going to be bursting with magic damage, and well, they have a couple of stuns here and there to deal with the Brewmaster. So right now, Virtus.Pro, they gonna pick up the Centaur, who typically is left a little bit longer in these picking phases, but yeah, they're gonna prioritize him pretty heavily. And if they play him correctly, if they play him aggressively enough, then well, it's certainly worth the first pick.
It definitely is. I mean, Virtus.Pro, they're definitely a team that loves to go aggressive as well. And you already mentioned the Puck as well, or how much they love to run just Puck and Venge. So Puck definitely could be also a possibility for them. Although VP, most of the times they play a Puck off lane even with DK Phobos, but they can definitely mix it up. I mean, they've done so even in the group stages here. But whoa, a Battle Rider. It's a hero we don't see just too crazily often, but it's still an extremely strong hero, still one of the best initiators in the game.
Yeah, it's just a great tool to have on your side, and well, they already banned out the Vengeful Spirit, so Bat Rider is going to have more or less protected initiation, so whenever he goes in, you could kind of expect to get someone. Now, right now, there's no one that's really great to get. You don't really want to pull a Centaur into your team. Ogre Magi is really tanky, so killing him early on is going to be very difficult if you just hit level 6 and you're trying to go for a lasso kill. It's possible, but it will certainly require a lot of work from that Bat Rider. So it looks like the Lions side are going to go for a little bit more of a kind of team fight oriented lineup with lassoing someone into a brew split, which is a pretty good way to go. Unfortunately, they would love a Tidehunter in this situation, but that's just not in the cards. They banded it out themselves.
Oh, and now a Razor also banned out, so no Razor, no Lycan as well for Lions, of course. And, well, I guess VP are maybe gonna ban out a support now, really anything at all. Something like a Witch Doctor, although, what could they go for? Skyriff Mage, of course, banned out by Lions themselves, although they could have used just Battery Lasso into Mystic Flare, for example. But VP, going for a Lich now, might be setting up some form of dual lanes for themselves. Ice Armor, a decent enough spell all in all, but I think at the moment there's really nothing to negate with the Ice Armor all that much. So just heavy nuke damage with both the Frost Blast and the Chain Frost.
Yeah, there are some games where you see a Lich being picked up and it makes complete sense, like, oh, well, the enemy has an Elder Titan. We need that Ice Armor. This game isn't really going to be a Lich pick for Ice Armor, it's going to be a Lich pick for lane control. And that's, obviously you want to have the fullest potential of the hero always shining through, but I don't really think that's going to be the case this game. It does open possibilities for running dual lanes. If they want to put like something like Lich Morphling over towards the mid lane, then they can do that if they really want to. And up against Brewmaster, that might not be the worst course of action. Or they could just have the Lich join the Ogre Magi. And Lich, you don't really want to roam around with him too much, but it could definitely get the job done.
It definitely could, and the one thing is that if the Primal Split is used, the Chain Frost is going to take pretty quick care of just the Storm and Fire Panda. And it's going to keep on bouncing around as well, unless Brewmaster just splits them up. So I guess there's a slightly higher chance than usual that the bounces will go back to the heroes and just not get split up immediately. So that also might be like one thing they were thinking about. But Witch Doctor is the pick now for the side of Lions. And just lasso into Death Ward. If they just get the pick off or find a hero, should be really easy to just burst him down, bring him down fast enough. But now VP, they do go for the puck. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, DK Phobos has been playing puck so often in the group stages. Like pretty much every single game, it's just first pick puck, and then there he goes. So having an elusive hero for sure against the very stun light, disable light lineup of the Lion side is going to be pretty fantastic. Like the disables that they do have is there are even disables that puck can easily dodge. The Cask is extremely easy to dodge. Bat Rider, if you're fast with your fingers, you could phase shift out before he actually gets the lasso on you, and then what could they actually do from that point? So this puck pick up against what Lions have is going to be really good. And, it's also just a hero that they really love playing and they are good at. So that's a good combination right there. And, well, Lions, their late game is going to come up. It's going to be the Anti-Mage. And now the question is, for VP.Polar, do we go late game and try to contest this Anti-Mage? Or do we try to end the game under the Anti-Mage? What do you think?
I hope that VP, they're going for the more aggressive route and just still taking a probably solid carry that can maybe take it to late game as well, but will also be just a huge impact early game. They can try to angle for something like a Slark, for example. Also a great hero against Bat Rider. So it might be coming out for them.
Yeah, it's really just going to be up to them. I wouldn't really be too surprised if Virtus.Pro went off and picked up something like a Naga and tried to take it to the late game. Maybe not exactly the best step against someone like a Witch Doctor. Brewmaster shuts down Naga, an early Naga pretty hard, but at the same time, Illidan he loves his Naga, and he's really damn good at it. And Virtus.Pro, though they do have a puck, they would like to have someone in the mid lane. And Lich Naga or just Naga by themselves seems like a pretty good way to end this draft for Virtus.Pro.
It definitely wouldn't be bad. You mentioned that Illidan does like to play that hero, and he's definitely good at it as well, like you mentioned. And it might be worth delaying things out. So far, the other three heroes, apart from the Anti-Mage on Lions, they might be able to just apply enough pressure on the mid game just to make sure he doesn't get that fast radiance while Anti-Mage is farming up at the same time. But since the Anti-Mage will be farming, that just would allow the Naga Siren to get that radiance as well, possibly before too much hurt is done. But we'll see. VP.Polar, they have about 1 minute 10 seconds left in the reserve time. Whatever it is, it's gonna have to be a core no matter what almost. Unless they want to run a really just weird lineup with like Ogre or Lich core, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, we could always hope for that because those games tend to be pretty interesting, but Yeah, that seems very unlikely. But you know, if it does end up being a Naga, then the race for farm is certainly going to be there. And when you're talking about farm racing, then you have to look at the supports. Witch Doctor is pretty good at keeping the anti-mage alive, but Witch Doctor just by himself is not too great at applying pressure to the enemies. Whereas you compare him to the Ogre Magi Lich. I mean, Lich, as I said, typically does like to sit in lane just a little bit more, but he's certainly capable of moving around with the Ogre Magi and applying pressure, especially when you're ganking anti-mage with the help of a puck or with the help of a Centaur War Runner. It's very possible that these supports are very relevant for VP.Polar in an aggressive sense and not relevant for Lions. It's not quite going to be the Naga Siren. It's going to be Medusa. It's pretty much the same thing, however, like in how it works.
But that's against an anti-mage now, but the Lions, they could even go for a Nyx Assassin as their secondary support. Nyx is great against Medusa, not too bad against Puck as well, to be honest. So, although Nyx Assassin usually not played as a support these days anymore, it could still work out, just another stun for them as well. Plus, if you have the mana break from anti-mage, mana burn from that Nyx as well, this Medusa is just not gonna have a fun time, and really neither is the Puck. Mana burn by the Nyx later on in the game when the Puck has more intelligence, it just does a crazy amount of damage, really.
Yeah, the only thing that's barring them from that is the fact that Nyx isn't really the most common hero to pick up, so it might just not be in their minds right now. But Mana Burn would get some insane value against the mana-heavy, reliant lineup of VP.Polar, and well, we'll see what they want to go for. Really, with the Anti-Mage Mana Break, they have all enough. They don't really need any more burning of mana, and it's going to be a Bane, actually. I mean, it is a hero that I suppose can do some serious damage to Medusa, lock her down for a little bit for Anti-Mage to do the damage, but these supports from Lions, they're pretty passive.
Man, the Fiend's Creep mana burn value coming out right here from the Bane. But I really didn't think Bane is gonna be it. I mean, I definitely thought that Nyx Assassin might also not be the pick they're going for, but I wouldn't think Bane would have been the alternative for that. Maybe they have some special plan, I mean, just like Nightmare into Maledict into follow-up, something along those lines maybe.
I mean, as that is actually a potentially really damaging combo just because Maledict is such a ridiculous skill, and it's fairly impossible to mess up a Maledict when the enemy is Nightmared. If you do, then, well, you could probably pause the game and blame lag, and you have to disconnect and pretend like it was lag the entire time. But is that really what they want to be doing? Because you could probably set that up with any other hero and be just as fine. I could see the Witch Doctor working out here as far as protecting their carry. It is kind of fitting into the Lions' way of playing, but yeah, I'm just not convinced that this Bane pickup.
But to introduce the lineups as well, guys. So for the side of Lions, on the dire side, Bland will be playing the Bane, leaving Jonathan Fan on the Batrider, with Quicks probably heading towards the mid lane on the Brewmaster, and the last two will be Solan on the Witch Doctor, as well as Era on the Anti-Mage.
And on the VP.Polar side, Lil is going to be playing the support Ogre Magi Ignite first, but no boots. It's going to be Illidan Stormrage or Shirley Finette for all you Code Geass fans out there. Playing the Medusa down bot, DK Phobos is going to be on the mid lane Puck. Rain for X-Gods, FNG is on the Lich. That leaves Mag on the Centaur.
Well, how the hell did you know that is from GoGS?
What? Dude, I've seen the anime.
I mean,
It's
I've
like
seen
one
the
of
anime as well ages ago, and I don't remember that name at all.
Yeah, but he has lost the picture.
Well, that wouldn't have helped me at all, to be honest.
Come on. Well, I mean, it's one of like the few animes that I've actually watched. So
Yeah, it's kind of like Death Note stylish, or
I don't know. I
in
haven't
that
watched
sense.
Death Note.
But it's like mind games and whatnot a little bit. Although I think Code Geass might even surpass Death Note, just because it has some action as well. But in
I
any
don't know.
case,
People love themselves some Death Note.
they definitely do. But at the moment, we are watching at Dota. Although those two animes we mentioned, pretty damn good as well. In any case, VP.Polar are going for the dual lanes, as to be expected with a Lich there. Lich Mag, or Lich Centaur rather, can be extremely annoying against the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage mana break, of course, might make it so that there's just not gonna be a hoof stomp, so Era shouldn't be too afraid for his life. But the Frost Blast harass will be pretty annoying to deal with at some point onwards.
So we have a 2v2 scenario in this top lane. As good as Anti-Mage is versus Centaur, I think he's certainly burstable right now. So Lich, well, he's currently nowhere near the lane, so that's probably not going to be relevant. So maybe not going to be a full 2-on-2. Mag just going to get a little bit of support from the Lich here and there. Over towards the bottom lane, we do also see a dual lane scenario with Medusa. First of all, just getting absolutely crippled by the Enfeeble. Hitting for 19 is not too impressive. I mean, techies could do a little bit better than that, I'm pretty sure. Blan is getting his value right now from the Bane, but he will run out of mana eventually. And then at that point, Illidan is going to get all the farm that he could possibly want, as Medusa versus Batrider typically isn't the hardest matchup, especially with Medusa starting out with a Magic Stick.
Magic Stick is just one of the best items to have against the Batrider in general. He's going to be spamming out the stick in Napalm no matter what. Not only to harass you, also to just get an easier time farming up. Because you have 42 base damage, which is pretty bad. Looking at the mid lane, 6-1 on Quicks on the Brewmaster, 4-2 on TK Phobos' Puck. So, going pretty even. Bottle is not there for Puck, and it's actually pretty far away, whereas Quicks already has his. So has it slightly faster, although I don't think it's going to change the lane too much.
Yeah, I expect this lane to be relatively even. DK Phobos and Quicks, both pretty familiar with their heroes, at least from what I've seen. They've played those heroes time and time again. Of course, when Lions could actually get their hands on the Brewmaster, certainly is a rarity to let that hero through, but when he is through, then he could do some serious work. So there is potential on the side lanes for aggression. I don't really think there should be a kill in mid lane unless Brewmaster just really messes up, or if DK Phobos somehow gets into melee range of Quicks, which shouldn't be happening. So mid lane, I don't expect there to be any kills, but bottom lane, certainly. Killing off Illidan is going to be extremely possible for this dual lane of Lions. It's going to be very slow, as none of these heroes have that much burst damage, especially with Bane. Level 2, no brain sap, but it certainly can be done.
It can, if somebody overextends a little bit. Lil throws out an Ignite onto the Bane and just kind of backs off. Jonathan Fan with the Haste Rune, only level 2, probably not gonna amount to anything at all. So everybody keeps on farming. I guess we might still get the kill like within a reasonable timing, the first blood. Hopefully it's not gonna be like, yes, 7 minutes in, no first bloods, Medusa farming, anti-mage farming, just fun games.
Yeah, it's certainly possible because there is a Medusa and anti-mage. That'll fit pretty much into Lions' game plan. Late game is really where they're most comfortable. That's usually where they take their games. VP.Polar do that quite frequently as well. And with the Medusa, it's kind of to be expected. They're going to go for Jonas and Fan down on bottom. Just Mystic Snake damage with Ignite Fire Blast. It's a ton of damage, not quite enough to kill off the Batrider. Blan is there for a little bit more help, but that was just a couple spells being casted. And the burst damage on this bottom lane certainly is real. If they had a Lich, that certainly would have been a kill.
Oh, it certainly would have, and the Mystic Snake does help out in that sense. If you don't have Mystic Snake on Medusa going for just either split shot or maybe stats even that early on. Oh, now he's down onto Blan as well, but there's no Ignite, which means nothing's happening except for Bane probably having to run all the way home. He's hanging around at the moment, just wants to get the XP from this one creep wave. And probably not even gonna get punished, because what the hell's gonna punish him? Maybe a Mystic Snake now? I think Illidan was thinking about it, just if he had let it fly into the creep wave, might have been fast enough to bounce through the range creep and into the Bane, but he doesn't attempt it.
And that's an embarrassing death if you just randomly get picked off with a Mystic Snake when you're sitting there feeling pretty safe. But Illidan not going to throw it out, and it wouldn't have costed him that much. But he really wants to save his Mystic Snakes for when he could actually guarantee damage drain on ideally the range creep and the hero. So just on the range creep, not quite good enough. But we do see FNG. He's still chilling on the top lane right now. Has poked and prodded the lane just a little bit, but for the most part, Mag is doing impressively well up on this top lane. Haven't really been watching it too closely because, you know, anti-mage farming is not too interesting, but he is actually falling behind the Centaur, and I don't expect the Centaur to get an amazingly fast blink, since Ira will eventually be able to pick up the pace of his farm. But Mag, if he gets a quick level 6, can certainly help out the bottom lane in their aggression, or even towards mid.
Well, at least for me, FNG on the Lich is there, so oh, bottom lane, they're gonna go for Lil. I think it's gonna be first blood as well. Mystic Snake comes out, Lil's still alive, needs a little bit more. There's the Fire Blast onto Jonathan Fan, he's still alive. Firefly, one more right click, and Jonathan Fan does pick it up. Double damage coming handy there. Without that, I think it wouldn't have been a kill, but can Illidan get another Mystic Snake? Never mind, healing cell, better, he's completely safe. So they get the first blood, nicely done. Illidan should just go back to farming. Now he sees Jonathan Fan as well, completely full HP, nothing for him to do anymore. But the top lane, just Lich being there, Era, even if he got a perfect creep score, it would still be like almost one less for every single creep wave just because the sacrifice is there.
Yeah, now that he has the Ring of Health, he'll be able to withstand all this harassment the Lich is putting on him, so Ira's time is going to get much, much better, and well, as expected, bottom lane is going to be the target of first blood. Jonas Van finding a lucky rune there. I think probably Haste would have done it as well, but either way, getting a kill on the Ogre Magi, it is certainly tough, but when you have that much damage, because you have so much time to set up with Nightmare into Sticky Napalm, then the Ogre probably isn't going to be going anywhere anytime soon. And Medusa, as far as her ability to protect her supports is very limited until she gets level 6. Like, even Anti-Mage can do it better, just because if you want to dive his supports, you're going to be losing mana the entire time. So Medusa is just one of those heroes that doesn't really do anything for the early stages of the game, and even when she's in circumstances where heroes would be able to, she can't do much. It's going to be Blanche taking Ignite, but again, Medusa can't really get these kills unless they insta-gib someone with the snake.
What do you think of Bland's skill build as well? 2 points into that Enfeeble and none into Brain Sap.
Well, I mean, his goal right now isn't really to be aggressive versus the Medusa and kill her off, it's just to make her life very difficult. So for this type of Bane, I suppose this is the correct build. And if he had heroes to be aggressive with, like if he had a Mirana on his team, then I would say that this is just wrong. But clearly that's not the case, and it's working out pretty well for him. So I think this is a correct build for now. I don't know if he's going to invest too heavily into the into Enfeeble in the future. But it is certainly a possibility if he just wants to make Medusa's life hard.
Top lane, some harassment goes on to Rain. In the meantime, Rain, or not Rain, not Vera, with Rain, FNG coming in with a Frost Blast. Mag just attempted the hoof stomp, cancelled it in time as well, so didn't lose any mana at least. Era, of course, 2 points into mana break now. But there's Paralyzing Cast, not gonna bounce onto anything. It's just such a delicate balance at the moment. We only had 1 kill. Mostly people just keep on farming up, and it's rather even across the board as well with last hits. VP having a slight advantage, but it's nothing massive.
In mid lane, Phobos is getting to the point where he can get these kills on quicks. However, Phobos is actually going for only 1 point Waning Rift for now. Going for the orb is typically the way you want to go, but against a Brewmaster in this type of scenario, I think going for Waning Rift would have served him a little bit better. Regardless, Phobos is farming a little bit faster than Quicks is as far as going to his Blink Dagger, so maybe once that item comes up for VP, we'll see them start to make some aggressive plays. They also do have Stampede, so as far as starting fights, they are on the table now. Ear's going to take quite a bit of damage up on top lane, but a Blink Out is going to keep him fine. He gets just a little bit too close to a Centaur, and that's what happens.
Just a spell shield, level 1 only into it, might have been enough. I mean, 26% coming out from that purely. Mid lane TK Phobos has to be a little bit careful. If Jonathan Fan gets close enough for a lasso, might be an easy kill. But Jonathan Fan gonna back off as well from some point. Just, you want to keep on farming on a Batrider, get a decently timed blink as well. And how funny as it may be, Batrider, if he had just been in the jungle purely, might already have the Blink Dagger on in like 1 minute or something, but at the moment no stacks for him to work with, no nothing. So sometimes just lane Batrider isn't that strong.
Yeah, especially when you're going up against Mystic Snake, which does do quite a bit of damage, and Ogre Magi does a crap ton of damage as well. So Batrider is kind of expected to not have a good time in those situations, and he got a little bit of experience. Level 6 is certainly enough, and he's going to use that level 6 to go up towards the top lane. Getting an arrow or getting a lasso onto Mag might not guarantee a kill, but Lich is certainly vulnerable to dying right now should he be dragged into a tower. So, well, FNG is going to be the first one to retreat. Mag gonna get left behind. He's going to get caught in the net, and they have a Paralyzing Cast follow-up. Mana Burn is there. He gets the Stampede off, but a Mana Break is going to kill him off, or, almost kill him off. Batrider gets the kill on Centaur.
Did he get Paralyzing Cast when he first just casted the Stampede, or...? It really looked like he was just standing in place and not running or something. So, 2-0 now. Invis rune, of course, probably the best rune Jonathan Fan could have gotten. Haste rune maybe the second best, or maybe even a little better than Invis. But nice rune to get nonetheless. Anti-Mage gets his power threads, gets some breathing space as well on the top lane here. Lich, of course, is going to just soak up the levels anyway, so they're not going to be able to put any pressure at all on the buildings. But still, nice just pick off for them. Of course, Puck still farming mid lane, and he just starts pulling slightly ahead of Quicks. 49 against 41 in last hits. And is it just going straight off Blink?
Yeah, I think he should be right now. I mean, Virtus Pro, they need to get something to that would allow them to be aggressive at some point versus Lions. And DK Phobos, he will have his Blink soon enough, but Quick is farming pretty much at the same rate. And the Batrider after that kill is much closer to his Blink Dagger. So there will be 2 Blink Daggers on Lions by the time VP.Polar get one, and well, that just numerically is going to favor the Lions side. Centaur is quite a ways away from that blink because of his death, and well, we see a bottom lane fight. Split has already been used very prematurely from the Brewmaster. Not exactly sure what the plan was there.
I have no clue at all. I mean, Brewmaster was like here, he saw FNG here, and he pretty much immediately popped that Primal Split. Or maybe I'm just sure, maybe it was Brewmaster like here and Lich here, but in any case, he didn't get the immediate Boulder Toss to follow, and just first Primal Split gets absolutely nothing accomplished.
And that's going to mean that DK Phobos can actually go for kills now on this Brewmaster with relative safety, and he will do so immediately. He's going to prompt the TP out from the Brew, unfortunately uses the coil first. And actually, no, Quick's going to cancel that one because he has Bane coming in. But Puck has haste, and he does have an Ogre Magi coming in. They have a Stampede as well. Lan has got to be really careful right now because Lil's going to land a stun, but here comes Jonas the Fan. He's going to pull the Nightmare. Actually, Lil will pull the Nightmare. However, he will get lassoed for his troubles. Another orb going to fly through. Lil going to get hit pretty hard by the Brain Sap, and now throw an Ignite towards Quicks. It's only 2 heroes from VPP, but Lil's going to take Tower Focus, and it looks like he will be dropping soon enough to Jonas the Fan. In the meantime, DK Phobos gets the kill on the Brew. It's a 1-for-1 over towards the mid lane, and VP, they really should have more heroes here, but I guess those heroes are just busy doing other things. It's still a nice trade for Virtus.Pro. I mean, killing off a Brewmaster, losing an Ogre Magi is a perfectly acceptable trade, especially when they take a tier 1 tower in the bottom lane on top of that.
But with that kill, Batrider has his Blink Dagger now, so that's also a pretty huge pickup. But the tower going down, of course, Illidan, absolute free farm on the bottom lane. Really nothing contesting him whatsoever. So he gets that. He still isn't number 1 in net worth though. Puck is ahead of him and Jonathan Fan as well, just because... Well, Medusa, 0-0-0, whereas Batrider is sitting on 3 kills, so he's been a part of every single one. That's extremely nice, considering he didn't have the Blink Dagger before now.
Yeah, now the initiations for Batrider are going to get so much easier, and while killing off the Puck previously very difficult, now it's very possible. Jonas Fan's going to get jumped by both Lich as well as Ogre. He's going to get to the high ground and try to TP out. It's going to be close, but he will survive. Oh man, Batrider is going to be such a nuisance for Virtus.Pro. I mean, getting a 10-ish minute or Blink Dagger for Batrider is pretty much what you want to do, unless you're in a 1v0 lane or a 1v1 lane. So Batrider is pretty much exactly where he should be, and we'll see how much he could actually do. He does have the lasso cooling down, and now he's looking for Illidan down towards the bottom lane. Medusa, though, is going for a very heavy speed build. Phase Boots, Yasha. I think I like this build the most on Medusa because it lets you use Stone Gaze offensively, but yeah, he's going to try to keep himself safe, but I mean, there's only so much you could do against this many blinking heroes.
Plan was almost able to chase him down as well. If he had just kept on running for a little bit longer and then go for like Fiend's Grip or maybe even Nightmare first, he would have been able to get the kills, just because with Tranquil Boots, Bane is quite a lot faster even if Medusa pops his Phase Boots. But that's also a Blink Dagger finished on Mag now on the Centaur. They are already wanting to go on the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage doesn't have the craziest amount of farm, but considering that the lane was just less than optimal, it's just fine for him. Solan has the therefore as well. There's the Frost Blast. Do they catch up? Wow, they even popped the Dream Coil for that.
Take no chances, I guess. I mean, you're a little bit behind in kills. You might as well get the free one when it presents itself, because so far Lions have not given Virtus.Pro many good opportunities at getting these kills. Like occasionally they've caught some people off guard and had some opportunities that just fell short. So I think the coil is just fine. I mean, you can take kills whenever you can get them, and it's going to dissuade Lions very heavily from trying to defend their top lane tower, which, by the way, is being beaten down by 4 Virtus.Pro heroes, and no Lions heroes are there in order to defend. They're instead smoked up and looking to jump someone mid, or just the Bane is, actually. So if Illidan goes into the mid lane, then we might see that Grip Mana Shield combo, or counter, I guess.
He doesn't even have Mana Shield activated at that moment, but the tower goes down. Looking at DK Phobos on the Puck, he does have Gloves of Haste. Will it just be his common Hand of Midas now after that blink, or is he actually finishing up power threads?
If it was any other Puck, oh wait, hold on, Illidan Storm Rage is going to get gripped and lassoed. He's not going anywhere. Ludus is going to go down. You don't really expect to get jumped there, but there's reinforcement coming in from Virtus.Pro. There's a Stampede. Centaur's going to get Nightmared, however. And it looks like Bane should be just fine. Split from the Brewmaster, going to be zoning out FNG, going to put some serious damage onto him as well. At the same time, Solan is going to be soloed by DK Phobos. Rain is going to get away with 5 HP. Are you kidding me? He's even going to get a little bit covered with multicast, but he will be going down in the end. But Brewmaster staying for way too long right now. Runs the risk of... No, he will get the blink out, and he will be just fine. In the meantime, DK Phobos trying to coil and kill the Batrider will not be successful in doing so. It's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Lions, but... going back to the Midas, if it was any other Puck, I would say Power Treads, but no, DK Phobos is definitely going to get a Midas.
Well, now he has saved up enough gold as well to make sure that if it would be Power Treads, would be finished already. Maybe Blink Silence, oh, still on cooldown though. Mystic Snake comes in first, Era. Barely tickles to be honest, gonna go for... Oh, it's an epic bait, there's the Silence as well. They don't have the Dream Coil though. You lose your orb and the right clicks will be enough anyway. So, nice bait coming out from Illidan there. And of course, nice jump by the Puck as well coming in. And that's a priority kill, and look at Anti-Mage, he didn't even notice it before, but he went for an Urn of Shadows.
Huh. Sure. I mean, this is usually an item that you pick up on heroes that you expect to be playing aggressively on, and I mean, obviously it only actually does stuff for you if you fill it with souls, and you don't do that unless you get kills. So Anti-Mage may be expecting to play a little bit more aggressively, but I mean, he hasn't done it so far. Illidan Stormrage is going to get junked, by the way. Solo pushing the bottom lane, never really where you want to be as a Medusa, and he's going to get picked off in a hurry, but Anti-Mage going for Urn of Shadows and then into Battle Fury again doesn't make much sense to me. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Oh yeah, right, yo. Good stuff. Muting mics is all well and good, but you have to unmute. Era gets stunned mid lane, hoof stomp to follow, chain frost as well. Oh, can he blink out? Oh god, without the stampede they probably wouldn't even had enough damage. That spell shield just providing to just be excellent value.
And if he had like another point of that, it would have just been enough, and then he would have wasted so many ultimates. But instead, going down, and unfortunately Anti-Mage, as many times as the Medusa is dying, Anti-Mage is making sure not to fall too far behind. So these carries, they're going to have a much more delayed impact on this game than you ordinarily would see, just because they're both dying, which is pretty rare. Like, it's not uncommon to see just one carry on one team constantly getting smashed, but for both of them to be trading deaths like this is going to mean that the other 4 heroes on their team are going to have higher priority and will have a longer impact in this game. And overall, I would think those 4 heroes are relatively even as far as their power levels and their contributions.
Well, at the moment, VP.Polar, they are ahead by about 3.5, almost 4k net worth. XP nearing 3000 as well. So not looking all bad considering that the kill score is completely even 6-6. But Plan and Quicks, they are on the hunt. They have the Primal Split as well. Quicks looks to also go for a Hand of Midas with the Gloves of Haste. Plan not gonna get the Fiend's Grip or Nightmare off and blink away from DK Phobos. He does get caught by a Thunderclap, but that's no disable and he's just gonna get out. Era a little bit too slow to come in as well. So both of them just get away. Blinks are just excellent items to escape.
It turns out Blink Dagger is a pretty good item, guys, so buy Blink Daggers in your games because it will probably save your life. And well, it's just going to delay the smokes and make sure that the 4 other heroes of Lions, everyone minus Anti-Mage, are not going to be getting kills to accelerate their farm. So Anti-Mage is still holding on to quite a bit of gold. He has 1,000, although not enough to buy a sword or anything like that. He's not going to go for a Hand of Midas or anything like that. It's going to be Quick Set with the Midas, and then Bat with Travels on the Courier. So it is definitely going to be a late game scenario. I mean, you pick up an Anti-Mage and Medusa, you kind of expect that, but we have Hands of Midases on either side. I wonder if anyone else is going to be going for some. Well, it's going to be initiation only onto Solon. However, Ira is going to get the Hoof Stomp missed on him. So Ogre Magi is going to make quick work of the Witch Doctor. We have Travels coming in. The Bat Rider wants to go in versus Magbat. I don't know if this is a kill he could take. Stampede is going to be there. Flame Break going to push him back. Mana Void not quite going to do it, but a Boulder will. And Quick is going to get that kill. Now it's going to be FNG. Not Cyclone into the air. The Storm used the wrong one.
Yes, he used the Purge to dispel magic. That I guess it's just slight panic mode there, just spamming out any spell you can with the Storm Panda like that. It's not the worst thing. I mean, support escaping wouldn't have made a massive difference, but now they can even maybe go for the defense. They have the Waning Rift maxed out. Of course, the Illusion Orb comes out first. Lil is there as well with the Ignite onto Era, and they do back off for now. So just a 1-for-1 fight. Of course, it was a support for core. Blan wants to go middle. He gets a huge range Fiend's Grip. What the hell is this? Jonas fan comes in as well, but there's no lasso. Now, nice double hoof stomp from Mag. Gonna get Blan. There's the multicast onto Solan as well, and it's gonna be just 2 supports down, most likely. The Ignite does come to slow down Blan. So they get the kills in the back lines. Dream Coil used for Jonas fan. DK4 was probably gonna find the kill, and indeed they do. That Fiend's Grip range was pretty ridiculous, but he was under the safety of his own tower, so I think they should have backed off immediately.
Yeah, I mean, that Fiend's Grip probably ended up hurting Bane more than it ended up helping him, even though that was like the longest Fiend's Grip I've ever seen in my life. It just brought a little bit of time for Virtus.Pro to assemble all their heroes in and ended up getting 3 kills. The Bat Rider, for the first time in this game, like, didn't have his teleportation out, so the coil into TP was not available for him. It's going to be Virtus.Pro slowly starting to pull away in the kill department, but I mean, it's still going to be more or less a toss-up come late game. Anti-Mage is going to go for a Yasha after this. I actually think this is a little bit better if you're going to be going for an Urn than going for a Battle Fury, and then AFK farming makes no sense whatsoever. So his build works for what he has, but would you really want to be going for this build at all this game? You're going up against a Medusa with split shot. You need some way of accelerating your farm, and Ira has gotten enough of his farm to make it so that he doesn't need to go for this budget build. What do you think about this item progression for Ira?
It feels like it might be a just game-losing item decision by the end of this, just because he's not going to be able to keep up with farm. I mean, he's behind already as it is, and without the Battle Fury, I have doubts that he's going to be able to catch up unless really Lions start dominating with team fights. But Medusa, or not Medusa, VP.Polar as a whole, I think they have enough farm to just be able to team fight into the side of Lions. So they're looking pretty good. There's going to be a Crimson Scar soon enough as well, probably for the Centaur. Plus they're going to have the Ice Armor as well. Mana Break is most likely going to be just Anti-Mage's biggest damage asset.
JonathonFan looking for a jump onto Illidan. Gets the Stone Gaze out beforehand. However, the Batrider will not be petrified. He will still be chased down. Ignite is there. Fire Blast. No, it's going to get fogged once, but JonathonFan has a TP out, but I don't really think he has any chance of escaping. No, he's going to get obliterated by the Puck with a Haste Rune. Mega kill for now for DK Phobos, and even though getting the Batrider kill is nice, the more important thing there is that they saved Illidan, and they're keeping the Medusa alive. That just means more uptime for her farm. She's gone for a Sanjin Yasha, which is probably just as strange of an item build for Medusa compared to the Anti-Mage's build. Maybe a little bit less so, but I would expect Yasha into Manta style for her.
I would have expected that as well, but maybe he wants to get that main value, I'm not too sure. I mean, the strength aspect from the Sanj is nice, I guess, and a little bit of extra movement speed. But probably doesn't matter just because he's not going to get punished for it, most likely, because it doesn't look like he's going to have to stop farming anytime soon. He has died a couple of times, of course, in this game, 2 to be exact, but this time around, even though he got the initiator upon, he got the Stone Gaze off, and although Batrider didn't get petrified, I believe, it still meant that the others cannot come in close. So, which is nice escape, and top lane, they want to go for Era. Will they get the Blink, Hoof Stomp, or the Fire Blast? There's the Yule Scepter first. They need the Silence to follow, and there's the Silence, Fire Blast, Multicast, Chain Frost used as well for good measure. And Era once again down. Well, at least he's not saving up massive gold for, like, I don't know, Radiance or anything, so he's not losing that much, but this Anti-Mage just is not how I expected Era to have his Anti-Mage.
Yeah, I haven't seen Era go for this build ever, and well, bottom lane, JonathonFan's going to get jumped by Mag and Illidan. Chopped down in a hurry. Batrider going to be a casualty now. VP, they're slowly starting to get more and more traction on this map, and the Anti-Mage so far has wasted his Urn of Shadows. It has literally done nothing for him except for a little bit of strength, and we saw how useful that was. Lil in the mid lane is going to get gripped and beaten down by the Brewmaster. There's quite a bit of attack speed because of Hanamitis, but suddenly Stampede, Nightmare is going to catch the Ogre Magi. Will not quite be lethal, but everyone else is falling back because everyone else from VP is coming in. FNG and Mag going to start fighting against Brewlings. Rain, though, has Ice Armor, and he should be just fine. Cyclones everywhere as, well, everyone's in the air right now, but the Earth Panda is making his escape. The other two aspects will not be able to kill off FNG. They force out the split without really doing much of anything, plus they save their Ogre Magi. Lions are just falling apart right now. Like, this build for Illidan is kind of built in order to participate early on. That's what Sanjin Yasha does. And it's actually working out remarkably well for VP. Illidan is now going to be beating down the mid lane tier 2.
Yeah, and once she finishes up the Butterfly, that's really the biggest worry, almost. Well, not completely counter, but Anti-Mage's Mana Break is what she has to be most afraid of. But if you're going to dodge 35% of the right clicks, suddenly it's not that scary. I mean, it's still a little bit scary, but it's halved by 1/3 of it. And overall, how many useful primal splits have we had in this game?
If I have to think about it, then it's probably not that many, right?
Yeah, it's probably not really. I think he's gotten maybe one primal split during an actual team fight. But he's had to just go for Primal Split without Thunderclap so many times that he hasn't been able to follow up properly. That one Primal Split he used to get the kill on Lich, which also took ages just because Lich was choking around the trees around the mid-tier 1. That's like the only kill I think he's gotten from the Primal Split. That's just not good. At least he has the Hand of Midas to maybe get an Abyssal Blade along the line, just AC, something like that. But all in all, just the graphs keep on spiraling. 10k plus in net worth already. XP 12,000 as well. And Stampede comes out. They're going to get the silence onto Era. Dream Coil. Stun to follow. Multicast not even needed.
Man, Anti-Mage is not having a good game today. And well, Puck, he unleashed all of his magic combo on the Anti-Mage. And Even though Anti-Mage now has 3-point spell shield, Puck is a hero as far as int heroes go. That does rely a little bit more on his right clicks, just because his nukes tend to not completely kill off the enemy. Until he picks up a Dagon, never mind, he will be able to completely kill off the enemy. But the Bloodlust and the additional attack speed from Midas is actually pretty relevant on a Puck. So he's pretty much a one-man wrecking crew right now. Whoever he finds, with the exception of Anti-Mage, I believe, he will be able to bring down or at least drop very low. If he has Stampede Help or an Ogre Magi behind him or anything like that, it is guaranteed to be a kill. And Virtus.Pro, they have more or less complete control of this game. They're 12k experience ahead, 10k net worth ahead, which is pretty good for 25 minutes in the game. And after clearing out the big stack, Medusa will soon to have her Butterfly. They have one more tier 2 tower to go for, and then it's going to be High Ground Push or Roshan, both of which are going to be a lot more difficult for VP, but even if they want to chill and just take this a little bit later, then they can do that as well.
God, VP.Polar, I did not expect this game to go like this at all, but really well played. Of course, Virtus.Pro, they're a team that has had some pretty great results as it is, otherwise as well. So they're definitely a good team, although they've had some lineup issues with just Goblet leaving to Navi and Scandal kind of disappearing on them as well. But looks like their stand-ins should be mixing in rather well for them, and that's Butterfly finished all of a sudden. It's only 26 minutes in as well. He's not exactly doubling the net worth of Anti-Mage, but he is way too close to doing so.
And also, the other heroes in Virtus.Pro, we got a Yule Scepter on the Lich with an Urn, and Lil is very close to an Aghanim Scepter. And these items are really big for the supports of VP.Polar, whereas you compare that to the Boots Soul Ring of the Bane and Boots nothing on the Witch Doctor. Like, these supports from VP are going to be doing so much more in comparison. Plus, their carry is just going to be doing a lot more. And this is really dangerous now for Lajons because they have to make a defense right now. The pushing power from VP isn't the best, but when you have a Butterfly on Medusa and she's bloodlusted, yeah, nothing can really withstand that. So now it's going to be go time for Lajons. They need this Batrider to get good initiation. If he doesn't, if he gets stunned as soon as he jumps in, or if he gets Yulesed, then it's just pretty much game over for Lajons.
And that's just a free tier 3. I think they got maybe like a tier 1 mid or something, but tier 1 for tier 3 and a tier 2, which is not worth it. And Rax down to half HP. Can they even get the perfect jump? Medusa pretty damn tanky, ice armor on him as well. BKB, Blink Thunderclap catches free, so it might be enough, but Medusa just pops the Stone Gaze. There's no follow-up at all. No follow-up at all for the Primal Split. Bland comes in, Fiend's Grip onto Illidan. He's gonna need to make a stop. Beautiful Hoof Stomp. Dream Coil to follow onto free as well. Era Silent Stop. Dagon, he goes down with the multicast. They might get magged up, but the Chamber still bouncing around, keeps on doing so. No death ward for them. Rax down. Stampede used and GG call. 28 minutes in. This is not how we expected this game to go with Medusa versus Anti-Mage. But, well, early GG, VP just well played.
Yeah, and as promised, the Batrider did not get his good initiation off. He jumped in immediately, got Yulesed by the Lich, and didn't get his lasso off in the end. Also, the Medusa just stone gazing to zone out 4 heroes, so the Brewmaster could not do anything just by himself. Virtus.Pro played that last team fight perfectly, and they're going to walk away with a win. And Lil, at the end of that, just dropped all his items and was starting to destroy them, just in case anyone was wondering.
Nope, Ogre just had 0 items. That's how bad Virtus.Pro played to this game.
What a noob.
DK Phobos Puck 6-0-4. Just, it really feels like banned Puck against Virtus.Pro. They're just picking it up every single game when it's available for them, I think. At least close enough to it. So maybe that's what Lajons should be looking at. But in any case, guys, this is a best of 3 series for the playoffs. So Team Lajons, they still have a chance to come back for sure. And even if they do fall down, it's into the lower bracket. So they're not out of the tournament anyway. But we're gonna head into game number 2, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I do hope you enjoyed the cast. And if you did, be sure to follow us on HeflaTV. It's HeflaTV on both Facebook as well as Twitter. The links are also below the stream. For the casters, it's at Coucher for me personally, at Mike Loris for my co-caster, and see you guys for game number 2.